Hello everybody, my name is Pravus, and welcome to Crusader Kings 2, The Reaper's Due, a brand new series for this channel that I am very excited to be playing today. I've been looking forward to playing some CK2 for months, but have not really had the chance. Well, now that a new expansion has been released, this gets a little bit of a higher priority, and it's about dang time, is all I have to say. For those of you who are not too familiar with Crusader Kings 2, it is another grand strategy game released by Paradox Development, the same makers of Europa Universalis 4, Hearts of Iron, and so on. One of the big differences about Crusader Kings 2, though, is instead of picking a nation and playing that through to the end, you pick a character more than anything else. There's a lot of politics, there's a lot of warfare and intrigue and backstabbing, and basically you follow a dynasty through their journey through medieval Europe. So that's basically what we are going to be doing in this game. As far as a single-player campaign, we're going to start off at the very beginning of the game in the early Middle Ages, 769 AD. But I'm not going to pick any of these normal people. No, that's too easy. Let's go to a custom game setup. Now, if you've already seen the thumbnail for this video, you know that I am planning on playing as Saxony. Now, why Saxony? Because I know some of you guys are immediately going to draw parallels to Arumba, who recently has started a Swedish-Norse campaign up here. And, well, that was a little pop-up I don't want. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be a copycat. I actually had this campaign planned out months ago. And like I said, just have not really had a chance to play it. So you're just going to have to take me at my word. But I really like the idea of playing as a tribal government, which is what we will be playing in the early Middle Ages. I like the idea of playing as a non-Christian or a non-Catholic. So specifically playing as Germanic Norse pagans could be kind of fun. And, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very interesting country. It's right on the border of West Francia, which could eventually come back to kill me if Charlemagne decides he wants to take over Saxony, and he probably will at some point. But it also gives us enough room to expand off to the east and kind of unite the pagan tribes, move into Scandinavia, unite the Norse, and so on. I think it's a really cool pick, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, I could start off as the King of Saxony, right? Grand Chief Theoderic of Saxony is the current main character. I'm not going to be doing that, though, because I do think that there's something kind of fun about playing as a vassal to start off and working your way to power. So instead, we are going to be playing as the High Chief of Brunswick. Now, the main character here is Ludelfinger. We're actually going to create our own character, but if you aren't too familiar with CK2 and the feudal hierarchies and how it works, I'll give you the quick rundown. Basically, each of these provinces right here is a county. Now, each county here can have a subholding, and those are called baronies. That's where you can build your castles, your bishoprics, your towns, and so on. But they're all sub-vassals of whoever owns the county itself. That person is called a count. Each county is a member of a duchy. So in this case, Brunswick, these 5 counties here form the Duchy of Brunswick. And that's what I'm going to be playing as the Duke of Brunswick. So I will be the overlord of all 5 counts, or maybe I'll hold some of the counties directly. And then those counts, and those dukes all pay homage to the king if there is one. In this case, that would be Grand Chief Theoderic, and this is the Kingdom of Saxony. Does that kind of give you a good idea how that works? I do hope so. Crusader Kings 2 is a very complicated game, and it would take me hours upon hours to explain every single mechanic, and I'm not going to try. I'm just going to have to assume you have some basic understanding of the game, but if you get lost, just understand that's how the hierarchy works. So yeah, I said I'm going to create my own character, and I plan on doing that, so we will use the Ruler Designer, which is a special DLC for the game. It is not part of the base game. I do not want to look like that, that's horrible. We'll look something more like, let's see, can I give me a little hook nose? My mouth will look something more like, not quite so trouty mouth, gosh. How about that? Kind of bump up the chin a little bit, something maybe like this, kind of thicken out the neck, the cheeks look pretty good. Those ears look hilarious. No, we're not going to worry about that. Hairstyle. Hair color, be a little bit darker, maybe like so. I don't quite want to have a beard. I think I'll have this instead. And the rest of this looks okay. For my coat of arms, let's see, I had something kind of in mind. Let's see if I can't find it right quick. Keep saying right quick. I know I'm doing that a lot more often. I'm not too sure why. We'll do this. And I will make myself have blue and light green. There, that will be my coat of arms. Now, as for the attributes, if you've never seen the Ruler Designer, here's how this basically works. So right now we are starting off as a 16-year-old adult character. Now I can add on different stats to him. Diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, learning. I can increase his health, his fertility. I can change whether or not he's married, whether or not he has kids. I can add traits. And all of those cost years of his life. So for example, if I want to add on one more diplomacy, you'll see he starts as age 17. The thought basically being the younger you are, you'll live a long time. That's a lot of time to have children and get more traits. However, you could make a very, very powerful early game character, but he'll be super old and likely to die. So that's kind of how it balances itself out. Now, I'm not going to touch any of the stats. I'm not going to touch health, fertility, sons, married, none of that. I am, however, going to change my education to become an intricate web weaver, which will add an extra 7 years to my life, like so. And I will add on some traits. Let's see. You can see that some of these, by the way, are bad traits, so they would give you more time. So this would reduce my life by my age by 14 years if I picked up stressed. Now, I don't want to do that, so we're not going to bother. I do want to be quick, however, because actually I think they rebalanced this recently. I don't think it used to cost 15. Either way, this will give me +3 in all stats, and it is possibly hereditary and can go off to my children. However, that means that I'm starting off as 38 years old, which is a little bit more than I think I would like. So let's go ahead and pick up some questionably negative traits. For example, I'm going to be deceitful by nature. I am also going to be cynical and stubborn. There, that reduces me down to 26 years old. Is that good enough? Is there anything else I really want to pick up? Don't want to be arbitrary, don't want to be trusting. Cruel would do what for me? Increase my intrigue, reduce my diplomacy. No, I don't think I want to do that either. This seems pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and finish, and that will be our new character. Oh, wait. I wanted to change your name. We need to change you, of course, to be none other than Noric Pravus. Now, that will be my new dynasty. So as my children are raised, they should have the last name Dynasty, and as my character grows old and eventually dies and gets replaced by my heir, I will be following the Pravus Dynasty and trying to spread that throughout all of Europe. Okay, that seems a lot better. Let's go ahead and hit play and begin the game. Okay, we can actually see in the Reaper's Due that they did change some things and added in new game rules, which is kind of cool. For the Reaper's Due, as far as major epidemics like, for example, the Black Death, I'm actually going to set that to historical because I think that would be kind of fun. Actually, I don't know. 1345 is a bit on the late side. You know what? No, let's go ahead and make it as dynamic. That will appear at the very earliest 200 years after the game has started, so we have plenty of time. But we'll go for that instead. Minor pandemics is fine. Mongol invasion, historical, sounds great. However, I will turn off the Aztec invasion because that's not very historical at all. Do I want to add on Shattered Retreat, or do I want to turn that off? Classic CK2 would have no Shattered Retreat, and I'm glad that they actually brought this as an option. It says it makes the game easier. That depends. It does make wars more decisive, but it means if I lose a fight, there's a very good chance that I'm screwed because there's no Shattered Retreat. But it does make winning a war a lot easier too, so... I think I will leave it off, just because it's faster. It's just a bit more decisive in the wars, and I do kind of like that. As far as defensive packs, gender equality, supernatural events, all this seems kind of okay to me. Seduction. Ugh, I don't like AIs having seduction, but I will allow it because it makes for interesting stories. The rest of these defaults are probably just fine, so let's go ahead and start the game. Okay, everybody, welcome to Crusader Kings 2, and welcome to Saxony. Alright, so, it looks to me like these are my directly held titles, Braunschweig, and... how do you pronounce that? I don't know. But, these are my directly held counties, which is great. It also looks like I own Oldenburg, Osnabrück, and Göttingen. What is my de jure duchy? Let's take a quick look. Actually, it looks to me like Brunswick's de jure duchy does not include Göttingen, it includes Lüneburg. Which means I probably do want to get this directly under my control, but that is owned directly by the king, so until I become king of Saxony, I probably won't have that. If you don't know what de jure means, basically it means, well, how do I say this? How things ought to be, right? So we know from looking at the map that I own these 4 territories here, but the de jure Duchy of Brunswick, how the duchy ought to be, includes Lüneburg, these 5 counties. So what it basically means is, if I were able to, I could declare war on the owner of Lüneburg and say, hey, I'm the Duke of Brunswick, you ought to be a vassal to me, and I would be able to conquer this and say, hey, there we go, now I have my de jure duchy. The same thing kind of goes for de jure kingdoms. This is what the Kingdom of Saxony ought to look like, which you can tell right away is not quite how it actually looks. And then you have de jure empires, which is pretty fun. As far as this campaign, what are my goals? Well, Well, first of all, I'm going to be taking things a little bit slow. I'm not sure how many videos per week I'm going to do on this. Every Paradox game is a major time commitment. I'm not sure how much you guys are going to like this or if you want to see more, so I'm going to be kind of dipping in my feet into it very gradually. But if you guys like it and we're doing well and I feel like we can actually contribute something to the YouTube community for CK2, then I will continue playing the series. But if I had to think long-term goals, well, first off, short-term goal, become King of Saxony. That's what I want to do. If I want to think long-term goals, it would be kind of fun to reform the religion. Let's see, if I look at here, we can see this is the Germanic faith right here. I mean, that would be kind of fun, right? Reform the Germanic Norse faith into an actual religion. Might like that. Alternatively, or maybe both, I don't know, we could try to push down to the south and form actual Germania. I've never seen anyone actually form Germania, the empire, before. What typically ends up happening is, you know, a Catholic nation who starts off significantly stronger conquers this area and then forms the Holy Roman Empire. But if a pagan does it, we can form Germania. That could be kind of fun. I don't know. Things we could do. Let me know what you think in the comment section. For now, I want to consolidate my power, become the King of Saxony, and survive against Charlemagne in case he does decide to kill me someday. And he probably will. We'll see. Okie dokie do. Let's take a look at some of the top pop-up things here. Council is discontent. That's no surprise, because I did take over as a new character from the character creator. So the previous owner of the Duchy of Brunswick got ousted. And as a result, because I'm technically a new ruler, my council is discontent. We could grant out some minor titles, don't care. We do need to pick a character focus, so let's take a look. Alright, currently, I am a 698 19-8. My intricate web weaver is very good. It means I'm going to have amazingly awesome intrigue. So my strength is going to be spying on people and murdering people in their sleep. Assassinations. Doing illegal things. That's what my character is going to be very good at, which might be great if I want to kill my liege, who, for the record, has 0 intrigue, which is really useful to me. He's gregarious, he's an erudite. He's an erudite with terrible learning, I am so sorry. He's craven, but he is trusting. He's also a thrifty clerk. Not a very good king. It does seem to be somewhat randomized, by the way. I've tried a couple of test starts to make sure this is going to work, and they all seem to have different stat layups no matter how I do things. Anyway, so let's see. For a character focus, do I want to focus even more on intrigue? Probably yes. There are quite a few different focuses that work here. For example, if I pick business, I would get 2 more stewardship, and my city vassals would like me more. But if I go for the intrigue focus, I just get straight up 3 more intrigue, which makes me better at murdering people, and I like that. It also would give me the ability to spy on people, which could be fun. Also free from captivity. I could try to perform a daring rescue, but I don't know. I think this is pretty good. Alternatively, the seduction focus if I want to, you know, seduce a bunch of maidens, but yeah, we'll go for this. We'll go for the intrigue focus. I think that seems fine. As far as my ambition, become a paragon of virtue. Need a lot of piety. No. Exalted among men. More prestige. Not likely to happen as a tribal nation, because I'm going to be spending a lot of my prestige. Become King of Saxony. I would love to do that. But do I want to start off with something else? Acquire a title? Maybe not. Become a counselor. I would like to have a seat on the council of my liege. If I pick this, and we succeed, I would just like my liege better. However, it doesn't say this, but if I do pick this, I will be able to ask my liege directly to put me on the council. So I'm going to say that that is my ambition for now. I want to be put a seat on the council, and maybe he'll make me the spy master, in which case I will have pretty much unlimited access to him, and I might be able to murder him in his sleep, and that would be pretty awesome if so. Okay, what else we have to do here? I am unmarried. I should get married, they say. But first, before I do that, let's go to the intrigue map mode and say I want to have a council position. I need 30 prestige. Okay, hang on. How do I get some quick prestige? Good way to do that would be declare a war. Ostfriesland, do you have any allies? Prince Algisil of Frisia. You have no pacts currently. You do have a couple of sub-vassals, but that's no real threat. You have 377 troops compared to my 794. I could win that war. Alright, we're going to declare a quick war on you. Take this immediately. Conquest of Ostfriesland. Send. And I'm going to immediately raise up... Actually, I was going to immediately raise up the vassals, but let's take a second and actually go through my council, because I do need to do that first. Chancellor, we currently have a 13 skill guy. That's not bad. Actually, he's one of the better ones. He's also a powerful vassal, so he expects to be on the council, otherwise he will dislike me. He's actually pretty good at stewardship, too. Who's my current steward? He has 15. This guy's better across the board, but... You know, we'll go with it. For our marshal, 14 is actually the best we can do, so you're probably fine as is. For my steward, 15 is not bad. Spymaster, she is terrible. Let's pick up Engelbert, commander in Brunswick. He's got 15 intrigue. That's pretty good. We'll go for you instead. For a seer, Egelmir. Do I have any more powerful vassals? No. So you have the best learning skill. Let's go ahead and make you into a counselor like so. Okay. Now, all of my counselors can do different things. For example, improve diplomatic reputation. That's pretty good for me, I think, and I could make my vassals like me more, or I may want to improve relations with the other duke in Saxony, the Duke of Holstein. This guy, if I do assassinate the king of Saxony and become the king, I'm going to want him to like me and be a loyal vassal. So let's make him like me. For my marshal, we could train troops. That's better for my levy size, which I like. For a steward, build legend, get some extra prestige. Spymaster, you know what? I'm not going to study technology quite yet. I'm going to increase my plot power in Anhalt, which is where my king will be. And for my seer, I don't need to proselytize. I don't need to improve religious relations. Let's build up some monthly piety in Brunswick like that. Okay, not bad. For my council, I don't have any advisor slots, so this is just going to have to be good enough. We're mostly pragmatic, it appears. Also a glory hound, also a loyalist. Not bad. For my liege's council, your spymaster is Unwan, who has only 10. Oh, he's a terrible spymaster. My king! My king! You should make me spymaster. I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but okay. Appoint commander. No, I do not want to lead your troops. There's a chance I would die, and I have no heir. Let's raise up my vassal, and let's call in all of my subjects, my counts. As a tribal leader, one of the things I can do is I call in my vassals or my tributaries into war as if they were allies, and they do not have any opinion penalties for raising their own levies. So there's really no penalty to doing that. We might as well. Let's go ahead and get all of the troops together. We do need to make sure we have some commanders, so let's take a quick look at that. Bruno, you have 6 marshal. Not very good. You have what kind of combat modifiers? You're better at defense. Okay. Gewert. He's not very good at anything either. That's disappointing. Oh my gosh, I have god-awful commanders across the board here. Okay, Engelbert, you're my spymaster. I don't want you leading troops. Belung, you're my marshal. My marshal can lead troops. That might be okay with me. He's a really good marshal. I also could lead some troops, and I have better marshal than most of my vassals. So that's something to consider, but for now... Do I want to say not forbidden to lead armies? Why can't I can't make you lead armies for some reason. Alright. I guess I'm going to lead the center, but hopefully I don't die horribly. Bruno, you shall take the flank. Let's get all these troops together, then we'll go siege down Ostfriesland, try to get some prestige so that I can demand a council position from my liege. Hopefully I become spymaster and get to kill him. Alright, 840 troops. Now in CK2, combat is mostly simple. It usually comes down to whoever has the most troops will win. With some exceptions, better modifiers, right, will help. But most of the time, if you have overwhelming numbers, you're going to win no matter what. Unlike Europe Universalis 4, where there's a little bit more luck involved, I think. But again, you know, even in EU4, numbers typically will win wars. It's just even more pronounced in CK2 than it was otherwise. Alright, for my intrigue, I'm going to plot to kill my king. Currently, the possible plot power is 84%. That's not going to be enough. I unfortunately cannot invite anybody else to join because he has nobody else in his court, but that will change eventually, and if I become the spymaster, odds are pretty darn good I'm going to just get to murder him. Just for free reign, it'll be awesome. Minimum tribal... This guy cannot decide what he wants to do. He just made it low, but he immediately lost. Well, whatever. Looks like the bishop's army is trying to hold out, but now we are flanking from both sides, so this should be pretty easy for us. I'm having a little trouble in the center, but otherwise we seem to be okay. My liege, there is rumor here in Anhalt that one of the local nobles might be corrupt. Use it as you see fit. Blackmail? Whoa! Engelbert is no longer spymaster. What happened to him? Bruno has left my court. What happened to Engelbert? I have become law speaker. What is law speaker? And why do I no longer have... What happened to my spymaster? Engelbert, where did you go? You didn't go into my, my liege's council, did you? Spymaster's still unwon. I have no idea where he went. Did he just, randomly die? I think he may have blackmailed someone and gotten murdered, but it didn't tell me. Okay, well, knowing that that's true... let's make Adelgar, who's a courtier, into my spymaster. Bruno's currently leading some troops. And you're a bit of a coward, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Build a spy network in on halt. And try to use that a little bit more aggressively next time. Where are you going? You're going to Oldenburg? That's fine, I'll chase you down. If the Shattered Retreat was available, then these guys would basically get white flagged and they'd have to retreat to a province and I wouldn't be able to engage them. But since that's not happening, and I turned off Shattered Retreat, I can just kind of keep ping-ponging back and forth and murder him. Which is, great. A man is brought in shackles before you. Apparently he is a missionary from Middle Francia who has been preaching his heretical faith among your people. He claims to be on a mission from God and has been caring for the sick in the nearby villages. What should be done about this misguided Catholic? A healer? He shall serve me personally, and he becomes a court physician, which is a new thing in this expansion. Adalgrim. He is a pretty learned man. He's also a renowned physician. He's really good at this stuff, maybe. He actually could be useful to me, it's just too bad that he's Catholic. Alternatively, I gain some gold and kill him. And also, King Carloman, who is the King of Middle Francia, would be mad at me. You know what? I could really use a court physician, even if he is Catholic. He shall serve me personally. I will tolerate your Catholicism for now. And Eldgisil of Ostfriesland was captured. Hey, cool! The Count of Ostfriesland is already captured. Also, Entet. I don't know who Entet is, but we'll find out real quick. Intrigue. Prisoners. You are... I have no idea who you are. You have no titles. You appear to be a low-born courtier. I have no idea why you are relevant, but you are. I cannot ransom my prisoner. He does not have enough money. Well, that's downright unfortunate, isn't it? Okay, well, I guess I will go ahead and use this war score to just end the war immediately. Let's enforce our demands and take over Ostfriesland, and there we go, we have usurped the title. Cool beans. Let's disband my troops. Now, I own this castle directly, even though I am of a tribal nature, so technically it's the wrong holding type, but I don't have any feudal vassals that I could hand this off to. However, I do not want to hold on to a temple, because I can't do anything with that, so let's create a new vassal. And the city of Auric. Let's go ahead and hand you off as well. Hey, my liege, I have prestige now. Would you please make me into a counselor? Send request. Do it. It will be considered. Well, I hope it will be accepted. Make me into your spymaster. I am far better at everything. I have 22 intrigue. Come on. I'm also very sneaky and deceitful and cynical and stuff, and I'm smart. You should be afraid of me, but let's see, all these little things I don't care about. Good. So you can see here that my personal holdings have now increased. I own the County of Braunschweig. I'm going to call this Cell, but I don't know. And Ostfriesland. These are the 3 that I now hold. So I have 3 out of 4 domain, which is good. If I own 1 more territory, I'll be fine. Any more than that, and I start to get some negative bonuses. It's kind of like how many directly held systems you're allowed to have in, Stellaris. The weeks pass, and your Catholic court physician keeps talking about his religion. He is even claiming that the Blessed Virgin could grant you health and long life. It sounds almost too good to be true. I can't. Odin would strike me down. Did not trust me. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. Become Catholic? No. No, I don't want to do that. Sigh. Time to light the fire. Gain 50 gold and kill him. I could just kill him right now. Dishonorable scum. You know what? I don't need a physician who doesn't like me. I mean, you might just try to kill me instead of help me. Time to light the fire. He's dead. Burn him to the stake. And I've got some money. Let's go ahead and upgrade my tribal holding. I'll get a market village to get a little bit more tax income there. Let's go ahead and build one here as well. Just a little bit more money for me, some more ducats per month. That seems fine. Hey, King, are you gonna put me on the council? You have to respond sooner or later. I know you do. Do it. This guy's an idiot. I mean, I know that he's... Well, no. He's not that good. He's not that good. You need to do it. Put me on your council. I promise not to murder you. Jinx, or Psych? Psych, not Jinx, Psych. I have my fingers crossed. All right, what else we want to do? We need to get married, and now that we have spent some of our prestige, I guess we might as well do that right now. As far as a marriage, who could I want, actually? You know what? I actually will deal with this next time. Next video, I'm going to try to get married and find myself a wife. By the way, Middle Francia is already imploding with a revolt. That's good to know. I will see you guys next time. If you do want to see more Crusader Kings 2 and you want to see the rest of the series, then be sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments section, and subscribe for my future content. My name has been Pravus, and I will see you guys next time.